So we talked about how to submit an interactive job. Let's talk about submitting a real job. Most jobs you're going to run are not interactive. It's mainly because it's inefficient. So when you submit your job to the queue, typically it's not going to start right away, especially if it's a large job. So to sit there and wait in your terminal while an interactive job starts could take 24 hours. And so if you lose your connection, all of a sudden you're out of luck. So typically you want to be submitting jobs this way with a bash script. This is an example that we provide in this repo. The interesting thing is when you submit using a script, you can move your PBS command line options into the script at the top as long as it's prefixed with this hashtag PBS. It's also worth knowing that when you run your qsub command, which you can see an example running that with it here, if I add on any of these command line options before the script, it will override what's at the top, which is handy because sometimes you want to change the number of nodes or the wall time, on the fly, so you can just quickly adjust those. Two options I've added here that we didn't see in the previous example in our interactive job are command line options that change where PBS will store the standard out and the standard error logs. Those are now going to go into subdirectory logs. That's just to keep the repo clean while we're working through it. So in this example, we are loading up the GCC module 11.2. So that adds GCC to our environment. Had we compiled an executable with that library on the login node, we're going to want to have that library loaded at runtime so any shared libraries are available in the environment for dynamic loading. So in this example, I'm just letting the environment know that I have, this is just for our personal use here, that we have 4 GPUs per node. And then I'm going to use that to set up my MPI commands. So I've got MPI exec, the GPUs per node, and as the total number of ranks, MPI ranks. And then the processes per node is, again, GPUs per node, because I only have one node that I'm running on. And in this simple example, I'm just going to echo hello world and be done. And then we could submit this script by just doing qsub and then the script name. This script lives down here in this example. It's actually examples/0, which we'll see here in our I do examples. I can do qsub examples hello world. Oh, and I need my project name because in the example, I don't give the project name. So you need to fill that out yourself. But like I said, we can override that on the command line. So I'm just going to do data science here to spell it correctly. So that submitted that job, which actually brings us to something else that we can do is we can query the scheduler about what jobs are going on. And so I can type in qstat here, which is the command for queue status. And if I hit enter, I'm going to get every job that's on the queue, which can be a bit of a monster to parse. So I can do qstat.u for user and add my username, Parton, and query for my job. But you'll notice my job has already exited because it was so quick and simple. So if I do an ls down in our logs directory, I'm going to find the error and output from my job, and it's based on the job ID. So when I submitted my job received a unique ID, and it's appended with the host from which it was submitted. And so if I look in here, logs, I can see 4 hello worlds because I had 4 GPUs per node, and I executed echo 4 times. So that's how we are submitting jobs on Polaris.